Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy, and these last few days have been absolutely wonderful. I flew from freezing cold New York into beautiful Sarasota, Florida, and I got to stay at two incredible resorts, as well as just explore all that Sarasota has to offer. And I wanted to talk with the communications and content manager with Visit Sarasota County, Brittany Girton, because she manages all domestic and international public relations initiatives, including press relations, visitor information, partner and stakeholder communications, and event and campaign promotion. She is also a manager of VSC's content coordinator who works directly on website and social media content. Brittany, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Michelle. I'm sorry that my description is such a mouthful. I'll have to first figure out a way to communicate that more concisely.
No, it's perfect because you play so many roles and there's so much going on in Sarasota that I wanted to have you on just to talk, from in general, just all the different offerings and what Sarasota offers to families. Because while we stayed at two resorts, we also just explored around. And I was really impressed with how many activities there were for families. And we'll talk about some of those. I got to go yesterday to the Sarasota Jungle Gardens, which we absolutely loved and had a blast at. So tell me a little bit about what Sarasota has to offer in general.
Sarasota is a city and it's also a county. And so if you're visiting Sarasota, the city, there's a wonderful arts and culture. There's the beaches right nearby, an excellent downtown area. And then Sarasota County actually includes 8 different barrier islands, nearly 40 miles of coastline. The arts and culture are still sprinkled throughout the county as a whole, but we have everything from spring training. We actually have 2 different teams down here. We have museums such as the Ringling, which John and Mabel Ringling essentially went throughout Europe and the country and decided that they were going to build a mansion in the area and also incorporate a beautiful museum. We have a variety of different animal-centric attractions, such as you mentioned Sarasota Jungle Gardens. We also have Big Cat Habitat, which is a sanctuary. We even just got a new sea lions exhibit. And so there's a variety of things that you can do. The wonderful part is that we have beautiful weather year-round. Today it's 76 degrees. It's sunny. I was out walking the street earlier and it was beautiful. And other than that, I mean, with families, there really is just so much to do. There's marvelous museums, places to play, tours, family fun, and tons of local events. So much to do.
Yeah, there really is. And you mentioned the weather. And really, the second I got off the plane from freezing cold New York, I thought, why do I live here? And I think I did that last year, too, when I left Sarasota and went back home exactly at this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually a local, I was one of the ones who went away to college and thought, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I'm going back. And so I can say that we enjoy year-round beautiful weather. And with that comes beautiful sunsets. You do also get to enjoy here kind of the balance, if you will, in Sarasota between the kind of what you envision Florida to be, the beaches, the white sand, again, the beautiful sunsets. But then also in Sarasota, we have an entire ecosystem of outdoor activities that are really kind of that authentic Florida feel as well. So, for instance, we have Mayaca State Park where there's alligators and beautiful canopy trees. So that's the other interesting thing is that you can go to the west and experience, again, those 8 beautiful barrier islands, but then you can go to the East County or to South County and experience kind of that, what you would envision as kind of that untouched, authentic Florida experience as well.
Right. And what I do love about Sarasota is nothing seems far away from each other. Even though you have all of these different regions, I don't think my GPS ever said more than 15, 20 minutes to where I was going.
That's the funny part. I was speaking to somebody in New York actually earlier today, and I was saying, for instance, with arts and culture, within a 2-mile radius of our downtown area, there's 13 different stages. So to me, I'm like, walking 2 miles, it sounds like, you can pretty much bebop all around downtown and go see tons of different shows and arts exhibits. And we have a lot of public art that you can walk and see. And so here as a local, sometimes I'm like, man, 2 miles, I'm going to have to, get the bike out or get the rollerblades. But I know that other metropolitan and urban areas, you're used to walking a few miles to get from one part of town to the other. So I think when visitors come to Sarasota, that is a very welcome surprise, is that it's very easy to navigate. And then also, we're trying to become more walkable, and there's tons of fun areas that you can go. Like, for instance, the area that's right by Marina Jack, there's a bayfront area. There's a children's fountain and a playground, and basically, you can walk all around, or St. Armand's Circle. There's tons of shopping and dining, and that's just, a hop, skip, and a jump from Lido Beach. So there certainly is the accessibility factor here.
Yeah, I loved walking around St. Armand's Circle, and that was the type of thing. We were staying at the resort at Lido Beach, and it was nap time for my daughter, so I put her in her stroller, and I got to go for a nice walk for a couple of hours. And there's so many different restaurants and ice cream and ice pop shops, and it was just really a fun afternoon. And if you're staying in that area, you don't need a car.
No, I think it's, and that's, there's other things too, like, Sarasota, we like to say that we're a small city with big city amenities. And so with that does come Uber and Lyft, and we have, local transportation options, such as the Gotcha, which is like a car service. It's actually more like a trolley service that can take you from one part of town to the other. So we've certainly, as we've continued to attract more visitors and even just more residents in general, we've made sure to try to accommodate. Again, not everybody needs to rent a car. There's tons of things that you can do to get around town. So.
Right. Absolutely. And I will say, though, that my rental car experience at your one of your rental car locations, not at the airport, but just in Sarasota near Siesta Key, was wonderful. The customer service was great. And so I just have to put that out there.
Well, and I know you had a toddler with you, and then also another one on the way. So I think the last thing you need is to deal with, it being late or not being available right away. So I'm glad to hear that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing too. This was my first trip that I took with my toddler alone, and it was made really easy. Just Sarasota in general, I think, is a great place for parents to visit with their little ones, especially if it's that first trip and you're worried about going anywhere and you're worried about all the things that you need to bring and do. Sarasota is just a beautiful, beautiful location, and you have all the amenities. So there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, we like to say that, it's kind of, sometimes it's really tough to plan a vacation so that it's family friendly, but then the adults get to enjoy some of that. And then also having enough activities, or just, kids have that short attention span. So finding an opportunity to really enjoy the day as an adult, but also as a kid. I think, like, for instance, Marie Selby Botanical Gardens, they have that tropical rainforest, but then they also have a beautiful display of orchids and a beautiful view of Sarasota Bay. So I think that's what's really great about a lot of the attractions in Sarasota. Is they've really mastered that balance between adult fun and then kid fun.
Yes, I agree. Because even when we were at the Sarasota Jungle Gardens yesterday, she loved just pushing the stroller that you could rent there throughout all the gardens. And I was like, wow, this is so pretty.
Did you get to feed any of the flamingos? That's one of the highlights that people have typically.
Yes, we saw the flamingos. We took a few pictures. That was a lot of fun. And she was like, she was so excited.
Yeah, it's very kid-centric and very easy to access as well. And I think, too, something else I would be remiss not to mention is that SRQ Airport is, again, pretty close to downtown. We also have I-75 right really closely accessible. So if you are going to South County, and we have a ton of new direct flights coming in. So we actually, SRQ introduced 8 new airlines and 26 new destinations to SRQ that are all, again, direct flights as of 2019. So we've made it even easier to get into Sarasota these days.
Yeah. And I have to say, too, that the airport itself is a delight. It is not crazy like some of the other airports that I have flown into. And it was really easy. Get off the flight, go get your luggage, go get your rental car. Everything was so contained. And it was just a very easy, manageable trip. Brittany, where can people go for more information on Sarasota if they're thinking about planning a trip and they're looking for ideas?
The easiest thing is to visit us online at visitsarasota.com. And once you're in our destination, we have a downtown visitor center. We actually have 4 total. So if downtown's not perfect, we have 3 others. And of course, if you're traveling with your kids, make sure you ask for one of our coloring books because they're a good time as well.
Oh, great. Yes. And those coloring books can be on Lifesaver if you're at a restaurant or anywhere else where you have to wait.
No, absolutely. You're exactly right.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. Thank you so much, Brittany, for joining me today. I really loved my visit to Sarasota, and I look forward to hopefully visiting again really soon. Coming up, we are going to talk with the director of spa at the resort at Longboat Key Club, as well as Jeff Mayers, who is the general manager, because there is so much that this resort offers in addition to all of the things that there is to do in Sarasota. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson. Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
So when I was in Sarasota, I stayed at 2 resorts. One is the resort at Longboat Key Club, and it was incredible. I have to say, it was one thing to just escape the freezing cold weather in New York. That was enough to come and then just go into my room, open the blinds, and just see the gorgeous white sand beaches and the pool. And I knew I was going to be in heaven for a few days. But also at the resort are activities like tennis and golf, and they have a terrific fitness club as well as a spa. So for that, I have with me Danielle White. She is the director of spa at the resort at Longboat Key Club. Hi, Danielle.
Hi there.
So I got to experience the spa when I was there. I got a babysitter for my daughter, and it was the most wonderful experience because I am 26 weeks pregnant now, and it's very rare that I get to do anything for myself. So just to be able to come to such a haven and relax and unwind, and I had such a great experience with the treatment that I had, I wanted to have you on just to talk about the different offerings with the spa and with the fitness and the mind and the body studio that you do have.
Absolutely. There's so much to offer our resort guests when they visit.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the fitness amenities that you have.
Of course. So our resort guests are able to come in and enjoy an array of amenities. We have our, of course, open fitness floor where they can use any of the cardio equipment, any of the strength equipment, lots of free weights available. And I think what really sets us apart is the Mind in Motion class studio that we have. We offer over 60 classes a week that our guests are able to take advantage of.
Yeah. And I was looking at the schedule, and unfortunately, if I was traveling by myself or as a couple, I would have been at so many of them. You have yoga, you have full body workouts with weights. You have something for everyone.
Absolutely. Lots of Zen classes, meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, and then a lot of high impact type classes, spin, cardio, body sculpt. We offer many things on the beach and outdoors. We do aqua Tai Chi in the pool. We do aqua aerobics in the pool. We have a beach boot camp. That's a couple of days a week. So lots of things where our guests can experience the beautiful weather that Florida brings.
Yeah. And I was thinking, I was sitting one day on my balcony, just writing, keeping a journal. And I thought I should break out my laptop and just try to do a Pilates video here because it's the idyllic setting. And it was just the breeze. It was a perfect place to do it. Now, you talk about for your guests, you have guests who vacation and you also are a membership club, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
So, which is really nice because for those who are local, they can also come and take advantage of all of the amenities.
They sure can.
Yeah, which amazing. So I was at the spa and I signed up for an organic facial, and I love the product line that you used. Obviously, all organic, very simple. And then as part of the facial, the woman who I worked with was so wonderful. I knew that it came with a shoulder massage and neck massage, which is always so welcome. But being pregnant, I was also having a lot of lower back and hip issues. And so she swapped it out and she worked on my lower back and my glute area. And it was just wonderful. I loved how they customized the treatment for what my needs were.
Absolutely. And that's sort of a great thing about having the facials. It is inclusive with some of the massage routine that being pregnant, you absolutely would love and enjoy.
Yes, because I debated. I was looking at the menu and I said, I know you have a prenatal massage and I'd really like that. But I'd also really like a facial because I haven't had one of those in a very long time. So the fact that you can customize is really nice. But tell me about the prenatal treatments for those who may be traveling and pregnant.
Absolutely. So it's completely customized. You, during the initial consultation, will really just talk with the provider and let them know what areas of concern you really want them to focus on. So it can be upper body for some, it can be full body for some, but the entire massage routine is sort of choreographed and using a body pillow that sort of molds to you so you're nice and comfortable the entire time. Using essential oils that are great for expecting mothers. All of the products we use are, of course, safe for that. And really just an overall luxury, relaxing experience. Make sure it's calming, using any back pain. It's also good to increase circulation, so there are benefits from it as well.
Yes, I agree. And I feel like women who are pregnant, they don't often take care of themselves as much as they could. And the fact that your therapists are certified and know how to do the prenatal treatments and you provide the pillows to make sure that there is extra comfort is so important and so nice to have on property there. So where can people go for more information if they want to read about all of the services that the resort has to offer when it comes to the spa and the fitness area?
Absolutely. They can just visit longboatkeyclub.com. There are links for spa and fitness that will give detailed information about both of those areas.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Danielle White, for joining me today on the show. Next up, we're going to talk with Jeffrey Mayers. He is the general manager of the resort at Longboat Key Club, and he's going to talk to us more about just how much the resort has to offer and in beautiful Sarasota, because I have to say that being a New Yorker, for whatever reason, I always just went down to the east coast of Florida. That's where my parents took me, and that's what I was familiar with. But if you are not familiar with Sarasota and the beauty of the resorts that are offered on Longboat Key and in Lido Beach, you have to listen to my interview coming up next with Jeff Mayers. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy, and if you want to see some pictures from my trip at the resort at Longboat Key Club, you can just follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Passport Mommy. More coming up in a few.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson. Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
We were just talking with Danielle White, the director of spa at the resort at Longboat Key Club, where I had the fortunate opportunity to stay for a few days and had the most amazing time. And I couldn't have done it without the general manager of the resort at Longboat Key Club, Jeff Mayers. He has enjoyed Sarasota life as the general manager of the resort at Longboat Key Club since November of 2012. Prior to joining Ocean Properties, he was the GM at the Sawgrass Golf Resort and Spa, a Marriott resort located in Ponte Vedra Beach in Florida. And his career has also taken him to Alabama and Las Vegas, as well as a number of locations in the Southeast. He's held executive positions with Interstate Hotels and Resorts, Point Clear Hotels and Resorts, and Davidson Hotels. Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks. So I had the most amazing time. First, I'm very jealous that you get to call Sarasota home every day of your life because it is absolutely beautiful. And it is a part of Florida that is just gorgeous. The beaches are immaculate. The sand is white. It was so nice to be spending a few days with you.
Oh, I'm glad you're able to come for a visit. I'm somewhat partial as I've lived throughout the state in all different areas in both coasts, and this is a special place to me. I just like the quality of life down here, as you mentioned, the beaches, and obviously there is so much to do in this area. It's just growing by leaps and bounds, at least over the last 6 years since I've been here.
Yeah, I have noticed that as much as people come down for the beaches, which we'll talk about in a moment, there's also so much to do culturally. And you have a beautiful downtown area with terrific restaurants. And there's just so many different pockets of Sarasota where people can enjoy so many different types of activities.
I agree. I think it really has, even though it's a smaller city, but it has the big city feel because of the cultural arts and the attractions that we provide. So when you do get particularly snowbirds that will come down in the wintertime from the larger cities, then we provide them a lot of the same cultural enhancements that they're used to. And so it's a very special area, and it's no surprise that it's growing in the way that it is. It has become a very popular destination.
Yeah, and you're on the board. You hold a board position on the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association Suncoast chapter, and you're also serving on the board of directors of the Greater Sarasota Chamber of Commerce, the Longboat Key Chamber of Commerce, and Visit Sarasota. So you definitely know a lot of what's going on.
I do, and I personally like giving back to the community, and so those are perfect forums and able to do that. But also just to understand and learn what's taking place in our community more from a future perspective, and it gives me great insight to what's taking place here. So it's been a great experience for me. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Longboat Key and the resort at Longboat Key Club, because you offer so many different amenities, from the gorgeous beaches and a beautiful pool to the spa, the golf, the tennis. So let's start with the beaches and what you offer right there for guests.
We had a visitor not too long ago, and if I remember correctly, he was from London, England, and I was just talking to him. I met him as I was walking around the resort, and I said to him, "So how's your day?" And he looked at me and he said, with a big smile, "There's not many places that you can go where you can walk in 100 yards from a golf course to the Gulf of Mexico, or any sea for that matter." And I think that really puts it in perspective, is that our location, it provides you the beach and the beautiful beaches, and we've won numerous awards, some of our area beaches, and then obviously having the resort component to it, it really provides all the great amenities, for our guests when they come and visit us.
Yeah. And I have to say, I was visiting from a different perspective when I used to travel, whether I was single or traveling with a significant other at the time. I was always going on the go and wanted to do everything that the resort could possibly have to offer. And this time, because I was traveling with my toddler, it was obviously all about her and what she can do and enjoy. And so we sat on the sand for hours just playing with the buckets and shovels that you provided. And I just got to sit there and relax and look out at the water. And she was having the time of her life. And you also offer kayaking and other water activities. But you also have many other activities for guests to enjoy if they are active.
And the nice thing about this resort, several things. So number one, it's exclusive. So if you're not staying here at the resort, it's not open to the public. So you have a club, and then you have the resort that are both intertwined. And so we create a lifestyle for both our members and resort guests alike. And so depending upon what it is that you like, some people are very active. So those that are, then you have 45 holes of golf. We have our tennis gardens, which was a USTA Facility of the Year when it opened in 2009. You have a marina, 291 slip marina. We've got a great fitness studio and a spa, or you can just, like you said, go out to the beach and just enjoy what nature provides. So we really have something for everyone, and it's a great family destination. So as you get into the spring months, you'll see a lot of families that will come down here, and the same over the summertime because it's a great family destination.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I had the opportunity to experience a tennis lesson and the spa and some kayaking because I worked with a babysitter one day, which was wonderful. And I have to say, your tennis pro was amazing. I'm a beginner and I've taken sporadic lessons all throughout the year. You would think I'd be further along than I am. but he really was incredible. In that hour, I learned so much that I have not learned in other lessons that I've taken.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we've got some great pros, both in the golf side and the tennis side, and we create clinics, we create, individual lessons like you had, and they really are very knowledgeable and are great teaching pros. And so, we're able to provide that one-on-one and market ourselves as such and provide a great service. So it really, it's very popular, amongst our members and guests alike.
Yeah. And I heard at breakfast sitting around the pool, I heard different people talking and people were saying, hey, how you doing? And somebody was saying, oh, I'm so sore. I was out playing golf all yesterday or tennis. And it was just really nice to hear how there were so many things going on. And at the resort, you would never know how many people are actually staying there because it never seems crowded, like you said. And to sit on the beach, it was quiet, it was nice, and I love that you provide food and beverage service, and you really can just sit on that beach for as long as you want. And that was my biggest regret, is that I didn't have more time to do that, because I went out kayaking, which was wonderful, and then I sat back down in my chair and I thought, I wish I had more time. I would just love to sit here and do nothing.
And I'll tell you, sometimes you get a glimpse, the dolphins will be swimming around in the morning. And one of the things that's really magical here, the sunsets, which are really known for, these beautiful sunsets. So you will get a lot of people that will come out, our guests at the end of the day, or sit on their balconies overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, and they got that perfect view of the sun setting. But it is, really a nice, tranquil area. And the sand itself, as you mentioned earlier on, it's really like a sugary sand, very bright in color, and it just really creates a different perspective than other, parts of the state. So it's, truly a great place to be and that people really enjoy going to.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And you can just walk along the beach for as long as you want and really make the resort what you want it. Your cuisine was great. I enjoyed eating pretty much all meals. I think I had every meal at the resort. The food is delicious. I love your various dining options. You have a fine dining option. You can sit just around the pool casually in a lounge. You have an Italian restaurant down the road. So you really have a lot for people who are staying for a long time.
Yeah, it's really nice because we do have a diversity of offerings, and with the 6 restaurants that we have, depending upon where you are on the property, if you're playing golf, then you have a restaurant at both of our golf facilities, or the tennis gardens, or at the marina. That's where the Italian restaurant is, and that's beautiful, overlooking our marina. So, and then of course, as you mentioned, our fine dining restaurant in the lobby, and then of course outside by the pool and beach where we provide service. So, we've really made it convenient, and different types of food in the different locations, so you can go around the resort and not have the same meal.
Right,
different places.
Exactly. And I love that I was going to play tennis and I could just pop in and get a smoothie, or, you could get something quick, or you can sit down for fine dining. And I was hesitant to take my daughter into the fine dining restaurant because I didn't want to disturb other guests, but we were able to sit off to the side, and I'd hopefully we didn't disturb anybody, but It was still a very casual environment, even though it was fine dining and the food was top notch.
Well, thank you very much. And it's interesting, and I may have shared with you, but we're about to go through a major renovation. So the fine dining restaurant will be transformed, and it really will become a fun type of a restaurant to go to, overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, so very scenic. And so that will be taking place later on, late spring. And so that'll be quite the transformation. So that whole new lobby building will have a total new feel to it. And then the guest room renovation as well.
Well, what are you renovating in the guest rooms? Because I thought they were already beautiful.
Well, thank you. We, it's, you want to be competitive, and we listen to our guests, and they provide us great feedback, on the units. And so really, it's going to be a massive renovation. I mean, basically, there'll be a total transformation of the rooms. So we've created 4 sample units, and the responses that I've gotten from our guests that have stayed in those units have just been exceptionally great comments about the comfort, the look, the feel, the space that's in there. So we're really looking forward to that, and we'll embark upon that later on this year.
Oh, terrific. Well, I have to say that one thing I loved about the rooms, and especially traveling with a family or one little one is that there are washer and dryers in the room. You have a full kitchen, which really makes staying so comfortable and so easy, because one of the things when traveling with little ones is you always feel you have to overpack. You never know what you're going to need. They can't wear the same thing twice. I mean, you can, but it's always stained. So the fact that you have laundry right there makes it so easy. And especially if you don't want to eat out in a restaurant every meal. We went and grabbed dinner from Portofino, the Italian restaurant, brought it back, ate it in the room. It was really nice to be able to have that option.
And that really is a luxury. And the other thing which is really nice is, the size of our rooms. So, the junior suites are roughly 650 square feet, all the way to our, we call it a 2-bedroom deluxe, which is 1,700 plus square feet. So when you're traveling with families, it gives you plenty of space and the amenities to make it comfortable. So it's like you have the conveniences of being at home, but you're away on a vacation.
Right.
It's a nice mixture of both.
It is. And it's nice to have those large rooms, because then you probably save money as opposed to having to get 2 or 3 hotel rooms, and you are all together. And it is, like you said, a home.
Yeah, exactly. So those 2-bedroom suites are really spacious. And like I said, particularly during the family travel season, they are a big hit, and they're under heavy demand just because of the space that's provided.
Right. Yeah. So when would you say is your peak travel time?
So, once you get into the first of the year, January, February, that's your high season, it's really till Easter. And then, interestingly enough, in the state of Florida, we call them the staycationers, but in the summertime, we're exceptionally busy here at the resort, because that 2-hour drive market tends to, get away for vacation, but you don't have to travel far. And so this is a great destination for people that live in Orlando or Tampa, Lakeland area to come down. And so we're really busy during those times of the year. And then we pretty keep busy very much throughout the course of the year, because we have become a destination.
Right. And I can see why. It really is. I mean, for anybody in the U.S. that's looking for a wonderful getaway, I know people always think, oh, the Caribbean, or, oh, we have to go far away. This resort, the resort at Longboat Key Club, perfect vacation. And it is a great staycation. Like you said, if you are close by to Sarasota within a few hours, or it's an easy flight. I know I flew from New York, and it was a very easy flight, direct flight to Sarasota. Jeff, where could people go for more information on the resort at Longboat Key Club?
So our website is www.longboatkeyclub.com, and you will see a layout of all the different room types that we have, to all the different activities. We offer a lot of activities for our guests when they come here, so they'll see a calendar of events. One of the things that I bring up with you is our Mind and Motion Studio and Fitness program. So you're finding today your travelers really like to exercise. We offer about 60 classes a week, for all different types of classes, yoga on the beach, all the way to a spin class, and then our fitness center. So our website is a great source of information.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did just speak with Danielle White before, and she filled us in on everything with the spa and the fitness center. So thank you so much, Jeff Mayers, for joining me today on the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again soon at the resort at Longboat Key Club.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson. Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
As you've been hearing me talk about Sarasota, it was an absolutely wonderful trip, but I have to say, part of it wouldn't have been as wonderful without the help of Debra Fortosis, who founded Elite Family Care. She provides reliable, safe, and compassionate caregivers for children and seniors. And I enlisted her services. I had posted on one of the Facebook groups for Sarasota moms asking, hey, who would you recommend for a babysitter? Because even though I personally have not had a lot of babysitters for my daughter, I really wanted to do a few activities just for myself, since I was at such a gorgeous property. And so I'm thrilled to have with me Debra Fortosis. Debra, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You are so highly recommended. Elite Family Care was recommended. And I would just love to hear how you started the company, because it is so helpful for those who are local to the Sarasota area, both kids and seniors, and those who are coming to vacation, because it does give mom or mom and dad a break to actually enjoy some alone time.
Yes, and I started a company because families were having a lot of difficulties finding good quality sitters in today's world. And I saw the need for that. I saw the need for background screened, engaging, caring, CPR first aid certified sitters so that parents can go out on a date or maybe we're filling in for nannies or for sick care or whatever their needs may be. I saw a need for that, and that's how I got started.
Yeah, and it really is such a great void to fill because whether you're local or you're traveling to a destination, if you're a new parent, you don't necessarily know who to call for a reliable babysitter. We've all heard about horrid nanny stories that we just, makes us really shudder at the thought of getting a babysitter or a nanny. And especially as a first-time parent, we can be very nervous. So the fact that you do all of that and you provide the background checks, and I love that before my babysitter came over, you sent me a picture of her as well as her certified background check. So it was very comforting to know that my daughter was in good hands.
Yes, and we've teamed up with a background screening company who does thorough background screening, and they actually have a back office which allows us to send the photo ID badge directly from their back office. So not only are we saying that we background screen, we're proving that we background screen. Because today many people say they do it, but you don't really know if they actually do a thorough screening.
Right, exactly. So what type of sitters do you have? And even more than just babysitters, like you said, you also provide care for seniors. How many people do you have on staff?
Well, it works differently depending on if we're dealing with children or seniors. So we're considered a referral agency on the babysitter side. And at any given time, we're running about 40-something sitters. They all have different schedules. We also do in-home nanny placements. So for local families, we provide the service of looking for nannies, very much like an employment agency looks for candidates for companies. We find nannies for families. And then we also run the babysitter service for local and vacationers. So I always like to share that with my vacationers because it gives them a comfort level that this is what we do in a full-time capacity. It's not just a small company where we have a couple people, but we've been doing this for 8 years, and we serve our local community and have been for the past 8 years. Then on the senior care side, we're a licensed companion care agency, and we provide good quality, engaging caregivers to our seniors, and we work a lot with dementia and Alzheimer's. Many times they don't really need medical attention because we don't do that, but they just need someone to come alongside and be there for them because they can't be left alone.
Exactly. And the fact that you have 2 children and 5 grandchildren, you know how important it is just to have really good care for your families. Where can people go for more information to read about you and if they would like to hire a babysitter, nanny, or somebody who's senior in their life?
Well, on our website, www.elitefamilycare.com. We actually have right on our website local families and vacationers. So if they're a vacationer, they can go on that page. And not only does it give them all the information on how we work, but it also there's links for things to do in the area, both with their family as well as if they want to go out and leave their child. There's places for them to go in the area. So we kind of give them all that information. And then on our senior care, it's www.eliteseniorcompanions.com.
Perfect. Debra Fortosas, thank you so much. I have to say thank you for providing me with such a wonderful babysitter in Sharon for my daughter when I was visiting Sarasota. And I will gladly refer you to anybody who I know is visiting or local. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson.